Rosbifs Rugby team guide for Toulouse. Yes, you may be wondering why you need a team guide. Well, it's just an excuse for me to wear this glorious piece of kit that I picked up in a charity shop in Barcelona. The 1996 Stade Toulousain shirt. No stars above the crest because it was the year that they won the first ever Champions Cup when they got that first star. I am wearing my glorious Nike hat as well. Just some of the great kits, one of the legendary kits. For one of the great sides, because let's be honest, Stade Toulousain, Toulouse Rugby is the biggest club in world rugby. I don't care what anyone says. They are the biggest club in global rugby. Fact, I think. Like, the Stade Toulousain is a cathedral of rugby. Toulouse is the most successful club in France by 11 titles. I think they're 11 clear of Stade Francais now. They are the most successful club in Europe with 6 Champions Cups. I think the next highest is 4 still. I don't think... Yeah, Leinster still haven't got 5th. Fight me on it. Get it in the comments. Drop a comment if you think there's a team bigger in world rugby that other than Stade Toulousain. They are royalty. They are rugby royalty. They were last year's winners. A much closer final last year than the year before when they destroyed Bordeaux. But ultimately, that little bit of nous, that little bit of champion quality came through. And that main man, the guy that is still criminally underrated, Thomas Ramos, the main man at the end. Key players, you don't need me to tell you that Jack Willis is one of their key players because he's fantastic. He is a World 15 player. He should have been on the Lions tour. I think there was a few things with the cold English players playing abroad that denied him that. Should have been, like, his World 15 player. Fight me on that one. Get it in the comments if you disagree with that. Antoine Dupont, I've heard he's quite good. Probably one of their key players when he's fit. We think he'll, on a serious note, I think Tony D will be back, we reckon, just after the Autumn International, so end of November. So we will have a bit of a period without him. They fared generally all right with him in the end. They've kind of got a little bit used to playing without him. Paul Grau has got to be one of our unsung heroes because he is the fill-in for Antoine Dupont. He's actually a very good friend of his from their childhood rugby in Osh. He suffers because he will never be Antoine Dupont. So people are always criticising because he can't do this, or Toulouse aren't as good because he, without Dupont, or with Dupont, Toulouse could do this, they could do that. Poor guy. Like, the guy is a really, really good rugby player. He also misses out on kind of challenging for France squads because he's the sort of player that would get picked or first get an opportunity on a summer tour, but he's never available for summer tours because Toulouse gets these top 14 finals and are in the top 14 finals, so he never gets picked up. And there's also a massive line of scrum halves, but really, really good player in his own right. Quick, really good handoff, good controlling game. Like, any other top 14 side would love to have him as their first choice. Like, genuinely, really, really good player. Don't let anyone tell you that he's not great. And has a really good partnership with Juan Cruz Malia, so it feels weird to say that Juan Cruz Malia is an unsung hero. He's probably top 3 best utility backs in the world. He starts for Argentina regularly. But it's when he fills in at 10 when they don't have Entamac and Ramos or Kinghorn available during the Six Nations, the internationals. He still glues the whole team together. They still play in a Toulouse way. He's got a great relationship with Paul Grau. He kicks his goals. Just a fantastic fill-in wherever they need him, whether it's right wing, left wing, full-back, centre, fly half. Like, really, really good utility player. Peter Aki is the other glue player. He's often playing when no one else is. Big physical presence. So much time on the ball. Like, just a glue player that links it all together. The really good offloading game. It's such a cliche that Toulouse play this French flair and it's all offloading game, but it's true. Like, you see them play, they can all offload. They all look to offload. It's such good rugby. It's the total rugby. It really is. Feels like another sound the cliche bell, but it is like let's say something new. Like, we try and avoid. We actually, Rich and I on the podcast, try to avoid talking about Toulouse too much because it feels like there's never anything new to say. It feels like everyone knows loads about them. You can only ever really say good things. They can't write bad things. They can struggle sometimes at line out. They can struggle a little bit at scrum time. That feels like things that might change because they've signed Georges-Henri Colombe, who we are big fans of. I know he gets a lot of stick. We recognise that. We think there is still an immense amount of potential. We think there's a really quality player in there. Another cliche, if anyone's going to get the best out of him, it is probably Toulouse. Similarly, Teddy Thomas, but very different role. How much game time will he get? Still electrifyingly quick. even at 31. Like, two really cool signings. Another cliche, Toulouse don't sign mugs. But I guess the young players are interesting ones. Like, and the fact that a lot of them are tight 5 forwards. So Efrain Elias is an Argentinian lock. He's really, really good. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of him. Benjamin Bertrand, loose head prop, really active around the park. Big fan of his. Thomas Lacombe was first choice for under-20s a couple of years ago. Another really all-action hooker. Exactly what you expect from a Toulouse hooker. Can do it all. It's just dynamite around the park. Mohamed Gerbi is one that I'm really interested to see. Maybe he's dropped down the pecking order a little bit with Georges-Henri Colombe there because they've got Dorian Aldeguerri, they've got Jean Merkle himself is still a really young loose tight head prop who seems to be improved a lot back end of last season. Georges-Henri Colombe, you'd like to think will get a lot of game time, or they will try and get as much game time and improvement out of him as possible. But Mohamed Gerbi, depending on who you listen to, 150, 140 kilos. He's definitely over 140 kilos. He's blooming massive. Can run ball in hand as well. Shock from Toulouse. 20-year-old tight head. He played for France under 20. Massive unit. Really good player. Feels like one that could come. Because even France aren't that blessed at tight head. He's the sort of player they're looking for at international level. So will he get fast-tracked ahead of guys like Merkle or Colombe? I don't know. Interested to see how that one turns out. They've also not really lost anyone. They've lost Richie Arnold, really experienced player. Cool. They've got guys coming through like Verger, Josh Brennan, Flamont, obviously, Miafu, obviously. Like Efrain Elias, like I said, a physical presence that's probably going to actually step into that Richie Arnold, playing a lot during the Six Nations. And Alban Passine, who was at Toulouse for a while, but a few nasty injuries and gave a bit of bite. But he barely played. Like, he's a good player, but barely played. They don't really lose much, which is slightly terrifying. Over the course of a 26-game season, in the regular league season, it's hard to see anyone toppling Toulouse. I think they could be clear by quite some way in terms of the regular league season because the depth they have is, like, we saw it in games last year. The game when they went away to La Rochelle, and La Rochelle fans were complaining they sent a weakened side, and because just before the Six Nations days, like, they've sent a weakened side, they've prioritised Champions Cup and travelling to South Africa, and it's just a disgrace, and I'm not even going to turn up. And then they nearly beat them. They needed a last-minute kick from Antoine Hastoy, and half that team, I think only one player in the starting lineup was born before the year 2000 or something ridiculous like that. And yet they challenged a full-noise La Rochelle side away. So, like, the depth there is frightening. Just the production line of talent that they still have. It's incredible. I've not even got Mathis Castro Ferreira on there, which is mad because I think he's amazing as well. Love watching him play. So over the course of a regular league season, hard to see anyone beating them. Could they slip up in a semi-final or a final? Interesting to see. It would be really tough for La Rochelle, Toulon, Bordeaux, whoever they end up meeting in the semi-final, because it's likely to be one of them. It'd be interesting to see how they get on. But there's just so much depth, and if they're at full tilt, which they still had a few injuries in the final last year, and that got them pretty close. But when Dupont's back, if he fires again, wow, can be a little bit boring, with Toulouse. They are that good because they're so good it becomes boring, like Barcelona in the 2010s. Who knows? Let me know what you think about Toulouse. Are you bored of them? Are you excited to see them play? Do you want to know more about some of the unheralded players, some of the younger players? Get in touch, get in the comments, ask us some questions. We want to give you as much information as possible that you might not get from your kind of average coverage of Toulouse and during the Champions Cup. We want to give you as much insight. So test us out, ask us some questions in those comments. Make sure you subscribe while you're at it. That is the last of our top 14 team guides. Hope you've enjoyed this playlist, or this may be the first video in your playlist. So you've got another 13 to go. Good luck getting through all of them and this voice. I'd be bored of it by now, I think, already. Thanks very much for watching. Really appreciate your support. Please get in touch. We want to hear from you. Cheers.